afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the not January, not March, but the February 2019 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting, where today we are talking about checking for updates. Mary Jo's going to talk about that. Did you know that you can get updates all the time? You don't even have to ask for them or be told to get them. She's going to tell you all about that. And I'm going to talk about the database folder, which is a new feature in version 19 that no one knows about because it hides in the background. We're going to explain what that means. And so without any further ado, I'm going to hit a couple buttons here and just realized, Mary Jo, that we didn't load the copy of PracticeMaster. So why don't you tell a lawyer joke while
Okay, I don't know a lawyer joke, but I have a joke.
Okay.
What did the janitor say when he came out of the closet?
I don't know.
Surprise! See? It made you laugh.
It is a surprise.
That is.
Okay, here we go. Into PracticeMaster as Ron, not Ram. Take it away, Mary Jo.
Okay, we're going to talk about updates. I will leave the joke telling to Paul. So we are going to talk about how and where to go to get updates. So like Paul said, a lot of people think that the only updates that come out with tabs in PracticeMaster are the ones that you get when they go from a different version. So maybe they're going to go from version 18 to 19, which we just did. But a lot of times there's a lot of little updates that happen every month that you don't even know are happening that are just like software enhancements or different things like that. And unless it's something critical that affects your data, software technology doesn't just notify you that these updates have been done. I think I liken it to like when you update your apps on your phone. You just always are updating those all the time and getting those enhancement and bug fixes or whatever they call them. It's kind of like that with STI. They send out these little updates, but you don't get notified of them. You have to go and check for them. So what we're going to do is show you how to check for them and then what you would need to do if you wanted to install them. So if we go up to our help button, I'm going to say new, there we go. Help button, there we are, and check for updates. This is where you can see if there's any updates available. So when I check on it, here's one that is available. I've got software update available for PracticeMaster and Tabs 3, and it was just general improvements and enhancements. So that's what's going to fix. If there's anything else out there that they're releasing or that they're doing, you would see it right here on the screen. If you do choose to download that, you can go ahead and click the Download Now button, and that will go ahead and download that particular update. So if you have multi-user version, you don't have the Platinum version, the download update can be done on any screen and install or any computer, and it can be installed from any workstation. Whereas Platinum, you do need to be on the server. You have to be on the server. It has to be installed on the server. Now you can download the update from any workstation, but you cannot install it on a workstation. You have to go to the server where the software is installed. If you want to know where that is installed, what you can do, I'm going to cancel this out. And if you just go up to, thank you, you go up to Help, and you go to your About PracticeMaster. This is going to tell you, first off, what version that you are on. So we know we're on 19.1. It will tell you the release date that you had that right here. And then it will also give you the version that you're on. Now this version number might not mean too much to you right now because you might not know what version was before or after that. But this date will definitely be a key. So you saw that the release date on the update that I'm on currently was on January 24th. And we're already, into February, there's another release out there. And I know there was one on January 31st. So, this could be several times a month, but I recommend you checking this at least at the end of every month, as part of your month-end routine. That will allow you then to see if there's any updates available for you to download and then get installed. What the current working directory is right here, and that's where we're going to install those updates to. So when we download that, it's going to ask us where we want to install it. It would be this directory right here. So that's where you can go to download those updates. That's where you can go to find out if there are any updates. If there aren't, it'll just tell you that your software is up to date and there's nothing that you need to do. So that's important. I would recommend that we do that, like I said, the end of every month as part of the month-end routine. If there is an update, go ahead and if it's a workstation, multi-user platform, you probably would be able to just go ahead and download that and install it. If it's a Platinum version, you might need a little more assistance with that. That does need to be done on the server. All users always need to be out of the software before we can perform any update. That is a key. And so if it's a server update, there are some other things involved with that. I would definitely, maybe get your IT involved, get, one of us involved here. We can help you with that. And that's how you would go ahead and do the update.
Now that becomes more and more important as we move into the future. I'm doing the air quotes thing right now. You can't see me, but rest assured that I am. Because STI is moving into more of a, let's take 2 or 3 really neat features and roll them out sooner rather than later. Their way of doing things in the past has always been wait, let's say 16 to 24 months and then throw, a dozen or more major features at everybody. And there were reasons for that. I mean, as some of you recall, we used to get these updates on CDs. And so it was expensive to prepare the CDs and mail them out and get them to people. Nowadays, they can release a new feature, and the cost-wise, there's no cost to doing it now rather than later. And so that's their intent. And I can tell you right now that the next major feature that's coming out this way is going to be support for NetDocuments, which is another document management system. We already integrate directly with WorldDocs. Now we're going to integrate with NetDocuments as well. The funny story that Mary Jo told me this morning was she was talking to somebody and the lady said, well, I need to know how to use this new electronic 1099. And Mary Jo was like, well, that's not out yet. But sure enough, it was. They hadn't announced that it was out yet, but they had published the update and they were planning to send the email out in the next day or two. But in the interim, this person had downloaded the update and gotten it. And so you can get the features, they're tested, don't get me wrong, it's not like you're testing these new features, but you can get these new features as quick as you can, as long as you're checking those updates. I am going to talk about something that probably nobody noticed when they installed version 19, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about it and explain why. And there is a new folder here called Database. And if you're very observant, there used to be a whole bunch of DAT and IDX files in here, and there are still a handful of them, a very small handful, but most of them have been moved into this database folder. Now, that doesn't really mean anything to you. It doesn't affect how the software runs. I will say that if you had the ODBC drivers, if you were using an external report or something that had to use the ODBC drivers to get at the tabs or PracticeMaster data externally, that you might have noticed something because they might have broken when you installed version 19. You may have needed to reinitialize the DB files or do some other stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. But why did they do this? It's very simple. They wanted to protect the data as much as they are able to. Now, if you're not in a Platinum environment, then all they've done is move these into a place that people are much less likely to get into if they happen to wander into this folder. You can wander into this folder, not the database folder, but into the STI folder or tabs 3 folder or whatever you call it at your firm. And in the past, there were all these critical DAT and IDX files that if somebody accidentally deleted one or renamed one or did something else to one, the whole system might cease to function. So now they're in a separate folder and it's, it takes a little bit more effort to get in there, so it's less likely. But the real reason is this. If you're on the Platinum version, even though everybody accesses these files, their users don't. In other words, the actual access of the files takes place through the PM connector, through the Platinum server software, okay? And so it is that Platinum server software that's accessing these files and then sending the information that's necessary. I'm motioning with my hand as if you can see me, sending the information that's necessary to each user and to their workstation. What that means is that IT or a nerdy administrator can come in here and put protections rights on this folder so that the only user, and I'm doing air quotes, the only user that can access it is the server user, okay? The user that accesses these programs in a platinum environment is a server user who then distributes all the results to the people. What that means is that you can lock this folder up so tight that only the server software can access it. The server software takes care of distributing the information to the users on their workstation. And therefore, if a user wanders in here, they wouldn't even see this folder. Or maybe they have rights to see it, but if they go into it, they can't delete anything, they can't rename anything, they can't change anything. Basically, if you're in a platinum environment, you can totally remove any user's rights to this folder and totally protect your data in such a way that there are no accidental or intentional deletions of those DAT and IDX files. And that's very important. That along with the encryption that STI's added in just before version 19 was released, make this a very, very secure system if you put these things into place. And that's that. That's why that's there. That's something to consider if you have Platinum, is to have your IT people lock up this folder so that only the server software user has the rights, the admin rights to get in there and do the stuff it needs with it, and the users can't wander in there and accidentally do something to consider. Next month, we're going to talk about calendar properties. Mary Jo's going to explain all the different things you can change in PracticeMaster that will affect how your calendar looks, how it behaves, how often it refreshes, things like that. I'm going to take the topic of T3PM sync. The synchronization between tabs 3 and PracticeMaster is often simply set and forgotten. I'm just going to give you a little background on how that works, how it does get set up, what to do if it gets out of sync, and why it's so much more important to consider now that we have version 19 and the ability to show that dashboard with your time. More on that next month. And of course, if you've ever been here before, you know that we can't end a live VUG or webinar from Attorney Computer Systems without taking you to our website and explaining how to get to all the content that's there. If you go to Attorney Computer Systems, notice that, attorneycomputersystems.com, notice that emphasis on that last S in the word systems. Without it, you don't get to the right place. If you then click on the word videos in the menu bar, if you hover on the word, you'll get a little interim pop-up menu, but if you click on the word, you end up at this screen that gives you a little bit more information about our 6 titles. Oops, went too far. We have 4 live titles. You're in one of them right now, the PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting. And we have 2 titles that are pre-recorded and are not performed in a live studio environment. These 2, Mary Jo has her eBytes video series. She records 3 of these each month, one on tabs, one on PracticeMaster, and one on World Docs. These are short little 2 or 3 minute videos where we take something very cool that we think everybody needs to know and that we can explain pretty quickly, and we record an eByte, or should I say Mary Jo records an eByte. We also have our longer format Paul and Mary Jo show. It's the same sort of thing. Mary Jo and I do trade off on these. We record one of them each month. We do record them about all 3 programs, but these are things that are broader in nature, topics that are going to take a little bit longer to explain, maybe dive a little bit deeper into. And so these will sometimes last 10, 15, sometimes even 20 minutes for topics that require that much time to get to the bottom of. We also, of course, have our live virtual user group meetings, one on tabs, one on PracticeMaster, one on World Docs, and I have a coffee pot webinar series where each month I invite somebody in from a different company or somebody that has an add-on product, a product that adds value or enhances the value of tabs or PracticeMaster or World Docs, and I have that person come in and show us what they've got, talk about how it's priced, talk about how it integrates with whatever package it integrates with, and we get to ask them questions. Now, if you go to one of these live events, let's go to the PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meetings. I'm going to click on the More button. You will notice that for every event in our system, every video in our system, we have, every title, I should say. We have, when you get through to the page, we have the title and a very short description of what it is. And if it's a live event, we then get right into the what's happening next. So here's the topics for our March 25th Virtual User Group meeting for PracticeMaster. We do have registration right here now. It used to be links. We don't do that anymore. We just have the fields right here. You have to fill in at least these 3 and hit register, and you will be set to go. And I will tell you that if you find that there's a topic that you want to see, but you're not going to be available, sign up anyways. Because then when the recorded version is available, Patty will send you an email literally moments after clicking the button to upload it to YouTube and put it on our website. So as soon as it's available to everybody else, you'll get an email to let you know. So register even if you can't attend. We don't care. We just want you to get the information whether you're there or not. As you scroll down, you'll notice that we have information on and recordings of all our prior webinars. So here, this is where you are right now. So this isn't even currently in post-production. It's a lie. We haven't even hit the end recording button. We haven't even sent this up to the cloud for Brad, our post-producer, to put his magic touch on. But this will be out of post-production in about a week or 2, and we'll show up right here. And then as we scroll down are the other videos we've done. And literally there are somewhere between 800 and 900 videos on our website, all about tabs, PracticeMaster and World Docs. We record 9, 10, sometimes 11 new videos a month, and they are all there for you to use 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So please take advantage of them. That's what they're there for. Everybody have a good rest of the day, a good rest of the month, and we will see you in March. Bye-bye.